Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and we're a couple days removed from that, extremely large balance patch we got that has saved Hearthstone and has made the new expansion very playable, as we're gonna go over the best decks to climb with, whether it's in standard or wild, getting from silver, gold, platinum, diamond, or legend. As always, if you enjoy the content on the channel, feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit that sub button down below. Give the video a like, it helps out a ton. And yeah, obviously the meta hasn't changed a ton, but there are some refinements to go over. No Dorian Warlock to recommend, that's definitely fallen off. Let's go through, and we're gonna see a lot of the same old, and there is like one kind of cool deck that's popped up maybe. I don't know if we'll get a gameplay video out of it, but we'll talk about it. Starting off, Aggro Demon Hunter, really good, shocking, right? Aggro DH, which has been nerfed multiple times, right? With the Sock Puppet Slither Spear in there, and it looks like the Ball Hog has been ditched, but we got Mukla in this build, we got Blood Mage Stalnose. We're going retro with this Aggro Demon Hunter, but Zeph can give you some extra reach. We have Ziliax with the Haywire module and the Power module, but very aggressive deck. Living Flame can help you get, your hot coals and all that stuff, push more damage. Acupuncture can help kill, and yeah, very aggressive deck. You're probably seeing it a ton on ladder, and it is pretty darn good, effective, and of course aggressive. But I expect, as usual, the aggro decks are really strong after a patch, and then start to fall off as time goes on, and people realize, like, yeah, Blood Decay is probably still really good and kind of farm that stuff. But yeah, Protoss Priest, as we kind of expected, is one of the top decks now after the patch, where you have your Sentry on 2, which is really good to discount your stuff, your Cat of the Day on 1, and then you got your Void Ray, which you can all bring back with this absolutely busted card, Resuscitate, right? Getting the 1, 2, and 3, giving it Reborn is ridiculous. Help discount your motherships further, and then you have the late game of just a ton of value from those motherships. You could copy them with Hallucination. Some people run Umbra for even more death rattle value, and then all of a sudden you're getting like the Carrier and Colossus, and basically become like an OTK deck a lot of the time, and it is doing very well post patch. Spell Damage Druid, as we again expected, one of the best decks, because this card of Mirdrassil in particular keeps dodging those nerfs, and it's like the highest mulligan win rate card in standard right now. You get that going. You have the new Elise card as well. Another location you can get a copy of a minion, in particular Owlonius, is absolutely disgusting to copy up with, and then deal a bunch of damage with your Sparkling File, your Swipe, your Living Roots, and yeah, to stay alive. And there's different versions. I've seen people run Bob instead of Best in Shell, but overall you really want to hit this card, hit your ramp, and then OTK with Owlonius, and you have Ziliax in here with a twin module, perfect module, just to help keep you alive, and also it's 9 cost to help out, of course, with that Elise location. Beast Hunter, very good deck, particular with the new card Supreme Dinomancy, buffing up all your other beasts wherever they are is just super strong. RC Rampage, a really good card, and you just have like a lot of ways to swarm the board, whether it's a Mother Duck and Workhorse, or even like the Shepherd's Crook. Filling up that board can be really good. We have the new Ancient Raptor as well. Basically, you want to go Death Rattle, summon some plants most of the time, but Divine Shield attack can be solid, and Fetch can basically always draw you 2 cards, unless you hit Esho, of course, which is not a beast, but in particular, yeah, 1 mana draw 2, really solid, and this deck, again, trending really well early on. Handbuff Hunter, again, as we expected, is still really good, because, well, you play reserve spot, only have, let's say, Bumbling Bellhop in hand, or your Mythical Rune Bear, get the buff on both versions, and kind of blow out in the early game. Again, Supreme Dinomancy is seeing some play in here, because you still have like RC Rampage, it doesn't get answered well. Boom, I've got a giant buff on my board, and it's also, buffing up the Rune Bear and all that. So really good deck, very much a scam deck, but yeah, it keeps dodging the nerfs too, so we have to recommend it. I don't know if there's a deck I like on this list. I'll mention if there's a deck I actually like here in a bit. Anyways, Aggro Paladin, really good too still, right? Just swarm the board with a lot of stats. We got Wisp in there. I had somebody say, like, well, the power level at Hearthstone's so low that Wisp is good. Well, there's way more synergies with Wisp than there used to be, and you draw cards a lot more than you ever used used to in Hearthstone, like a Platosaur, the new 1-mana 1/2 minion that draws a card and all that stuff. Oh my god, I don't have a second golden of this. We gotta fix that. I have all this dust, and even though I'm not gonna play this deck, I want it fully golden. I have issues. Regardless, you swarm the board, and then you have the Crusader's Aura, the Flash Sale, and you can, tutor your cards. Ursine Maul gets your Ziliax, which has your Pylon module, your ticking module, can get your toy Captain Tareem, and do some pretty good stuff. And yeah, again, really aggressive deck, and just vomit the board and hope your opponent does not have the answer for it. Byrak Rogue is now the rogue deck of choice, although I will not be surprised if Cycle Rogue is figured out, because the numbers on Cycle Rogue are still pretty promising to come back and be a meta player. But yeah, I saw someone hit rank 1 legend. Basically, it's the whole deal with Sandbox Scoundrel, where you get that mana cheat, which you can, shadow step the mini and get that out for cheap. And then you could cheat out Ziliax, you could cheat out Byrak that corrupts Shallow Dristle. You got Marin the Manager in there. And of course, with all these different mana costs, we're playing Elise to get that location, can be really good. And even Opu the Unseen, which I figured would be a playable card once we got away from Cycle Rogue, it is, because it becomes 3 mana with Sandbox Scoundrel, right? Like, all these big cards become really good when you cheat mana. What a concept, right? And yeah, this deck's doing really well, and it looks a lot more fun to me than playing Cycle Rogue. There's always some craziness afoot, and you can get Nightmare Fuel and possibly steal a cool minion from your opponent, or at least copy it, give it a dark gift. So yeah, this is a lot more of a fun rogue deck. To be honest, I might actually try climbing with this. We'll see how it goes. Probably won't go very well, but regardless, this is a little bit more on the fun end with Ziliax with the twin module and perfect module in there. Starship DK is still good. What a surprise again. We got Steam Cleaner in here, because there are a lot of people playing, like, I'm not recommending it because the win rates aren't amazing, but the Aviana Druid, or you're just hitting like eruptions from like an Incendious, or the quest reward from Warrior. Some people are running it as a tech. Would I highly recommend it? I don't know, but the win rate on this version was all right. So let's go Steam Cleaner. And yeah, I got the High Cultist Heron in there to cheat out Death Rattles, Ziliax. You know the deal. Clear the board a bunch, build a big starship, get that Death Rattle to go off. You can Exodar for a ton of armor, get a bunch of minions out there, and in the late game, you have Kill Jaden, where, yeah, you don't even have to worry about Steam Cleaner because you can't delete that portal. It will stay complete and filled with demons. And I mean, how many videos have I made on decks similar to this? A lot. Maybe we'll make another one, who knows? But yes, this deck is still good. It's not the best thing in the world out there, but it's not the worst, and it's certainly legend capable. Starship Quest Warrior seems to be the quest deck of choice lately, where yes, we have Jim Raynor, we have all the starship pieces coming together, which goes really well with the quest, in particular Time Warp, right? You have a big starship, you launch it, Time Warp, kill your opponent with a giant starship, right? In the late game. And then of course in the early game, you have stuff like Yamato Cannon and your defense crystals, stuff to keep you alive, and go from there. And it's got the control package of, your brawls, you got Elise. Again, definitely craft this card if you don't have it already. It's so good. Building those custom locations, and seems to be trending a bit better than like the whole like Hydration Warrior, bring your taunts back. This is more of a way to actually win that game, and it's got a lot of greed in there, like Marin and all sorts of stuff. No Kill Jaden, because you don't need that in particular when you have your quest reward and all that stuff going on. And Ziliax is twin module, perfect module, not on Kiliax, because we're not resurrecting it, right? So there's no point. So yeah, that's probably the best quest warrior deck out there. The mech warrior, the scam warrior, definitely good still. Playing that part scrapper and cheating out, your testing dummy, or chemical spill out your turtle on Kiliax is the way to go here. Virus module, perfect module, because that's pretty good to cheat out. And Inventor Boom will bring that back. It'll attack again. Umbra can proc a ton of death rattles with testing dummy, which you can get even more of with Reckham and Deckham. And you can, if you're my opponent, get the red spell from Mixologist to bring back a giant taunt minion. No hydration station, none of the druid stuff, but you got a lot of greed in there, like Cubicle too. Eating one of these big things you cheat out can be really darn effective. Spell Quest Mage seems to be decent enough now. It's like around 50%. Again, it's not the best deck in the meta, but it's really fun. fun. It's really crazy. You got all the discover cards. Forbidden Sequence, again, you discover 7 now instead of 8 to get that quest reward, which I apparently cannot pronounce correctly, so I'm not even gonna bother trying. Where you discover a card, it'll play the options you don't pick, right? Which can be pretty insane with cards like Relic of Kings in particular, and you can recast a ton of stuff with the Galactic Projection Orb, including your quest, which you can end up playing multiple, and that can win some games. We got one like tech card in here with buy one, get one freeze to, like, you know, big minions you can copy up, punish them for cheating out their big minion. You get a copy of it, could be pretty sweet, or you can just run like another photon cannon just as removal or whatever you want, and it is doing pretty well. This deck, I don't know, I'm keeping an eye on. I saw it trending well. A new like big spell mage, which runs like Tsunami. It runs Huddle Up, and then you have King Tide and Skyla to just try and cheat it out. You have like the new card Blob of Tar, and you got coin generation like Metal Detector, Manager, and the idea is just get Tsunami, get Huddle Up out fast and win that way, because there's not a ton of board clears in the meta right now, right? Outside of like DK, there's not a ton, so it's another scam deck with mass mana cheat, of course, but the numbers on it, I was looking at Diamond through Legend, and even at Legend, it's pretty positive. So I don't know if it's bait or whatever, but I thought I would just throw this out there as a deck you might want to consider playing. Even Stellar Balance is in there to get like a 0 mana spell for like Skyla and that, and you can burn your opponent out. So again, not sure if it's real. I'll maybe try and get a gameplay video on this because it's just weird. Like it just kind of popped up, but we'll see. And yeah, it does seem to be trending all right. And I don't know, Armor Demon Hunter, you want to play Armor Demon Hunter, it's still good. I don't like that it's good, but it's good. Where yeah, you bring back your starships. You even got like Rested Peace for like extra greed to just constantly bring stuff back with your, you know, Ferocious Fellbat. Get a giant starship, and then you can just eat it with your Dissolving Ooze and slap it onto a cane and murder your opponent. I'm so sick of so many of these decks that yeah, it's not like the most fun meta in the world, that's for sure. There's variety out there, but it's all like aggro, scam, and like infinite armor crap, and I don't know, I'm just tired. I want to play new stuff, and none of this is all that new, but overall, yeah, those are the decks for Standard. In Wild, Discard Warlock looks like it's still really good, despite the fact that Cursed Catacombs got nerfed. We're teching in Curse of Ratham for those ice block decks and all of that, and yeah, not bad. Play your cheap stuff. Try and, you know, get out Expired Merchant, Soul Barrage, or try and, you know, play the Wicked Whispers with your spiders and all of that, or just high roll a tiny Knight of Evil. Really fast, really aggressive deck, and very legend capable. Libram Paladin still really good. Nothing's changed with that. Discount your Librams with your Aldor Attendant, your Star Slicer, and then just cheat a billion mana and a bunch of Libram of Divinities. You can even like Lanessa, Chillblade Champion, and do a ton of damage. And of course, a Showdown and Prismatic Beam are ridiculous. No idea why they were reverted. Paladin didn't need that help, but my goodness, they do some work. They also do work with Holy Wrath Paladin. We got Tight Lit Witness in there for the ice block decks, but overall, very ridiculous deck. Like I have consistent, like I got Legend on my last climb. I was OTKing as early as turn 4 and 5 pretty consistently. We could set up with like Overplanner with your Sharp-Eyed Lookout, discounting your Holy Wrath, of course, with your Holy Cowboy, nuking people with your either your Ceaseless Expanse, your Shrivala, and if you draw them, you can always Finley them to the bottom and try again. And I've won many a games where I've had to Finley it to the bottom. Like, it is definitely not a deal breaker, and yeah, I definitely can recommend that deck as well. Big Shaman, like literally every deck recommendation video ever, because it's just always really good of getting the Muck Morpher out early, whether it's with the Gabble or your Fairy Tale Force or your Ancestors Call a giant minion, maybe even disrupt a combo piece from your opponent and murder them. Again, I always say with this deck, you're gonna win fast, you're gonna lose fast, so it is a pretty good deck to climb. The ultimate scam deck, it really is, but it's been good forever. And I thought I would throw in a budget option for you wild enjoyers with some Reno Hostage Mage with just a few legendaries here to, you know, hold your opponent hostage with your Romath and your basically ETC. You pick up the Potion of Illusion or Ice Block or Light Show and recast it over and over and over. You can win with infinite damage with Koldara Drake and your refresh Reno hero power and a billion legendaries, a billion ways to stall, frustrate your opponent, and go a little bit bankrupt trying to afford all these legendaries, which yes, I have all golden / signature / diamond, and our Ziliax has Haywire module, perfect module in there as well. So there you go, a bunch of decks to play with in Hearthstone. Are they fun right now? I don't think it's amazing, but we'll have a meta review in the next day or two where we go over how things are looking after this latest patch, and yeah, it's not looking great. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Good luck on your climbs, have a great day, and stay salty, my friends.